This is exactly why I quit my water treatment job to dive headfirst into sales and service careers, and I haven't looked back since. The stagnation and lack of innovation in my government utility role became unbearable, prompting me to resign and seek a more dynamic environment where my skills could flourish and drive meaningful change. Realizing that my potential was stifled within the rigid structure of my government utility jobs, I opted to step away in pursuit of a career where my talents could be unleashed and utilized to their fullest extent. I started in the water treatment industry in 2019. I had applied for a job after graduation, but I did not get anything concrete. It's funny looking back now. I always had a whole plan to start my entry-level environmental technician career. My pay was $20 an hour, and because I gave myself a limit of a year to get a job, because I had to become a permanent resident sooner than later. Guys, looking back now, what a small way of thinking, right? Just you are thinking short term and you're not building anything for the long haul, and that affected my career massively. Eventually, I got jobs. I think in 4 years as a water treatment technician, I worked in 3 different companies, and that's about a job a year. I think when employers and hiring managers see your desperation, they can easily exploit that in the pay they give you. After all, every business is in to make a living. I remember at my very first water treatment job, I went to my manager and asked for a raise, and he didn't even blink an eye. He didn't even look at me and say anything at all. He just dismissed it and told me that I should wait a year to get a raise. While working for these companies, I took on courses and certifications to continue building my skills outside of work. But I didn't do that enough. Looking back now, I would say that is something I would have changed, is that I would have done more work outside of work to get ready for my exit plan. Coming back from work, I'll feel so tired though all the time, and I could barely focus on completing courses. All in all, I completed my life insurance licensing exam and my PMP for project management certification. I also completed my digital marketing course. One major factor that influenced my quitting was the odd hours. My first job was fine. It was 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Had to drive all the way from one city to another for like an hour every single day. And the other job was a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the other one, which was the most difficult for hours, was the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. continental shift, and also a rotational shift. So I would go from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The night shift was a struggle. And the thing about the night shift is that you just can't simply just pass out when you get home. I was so tired, but once I get home, I would just linger on 9 a.m. I would sleep, wake up by 1 p.m. and then the day's already gone. Add on top of that the rotational shift, right? So you never get used to that schedule of sleeping in. 2 weeks, it switches from nights to days, and from nights to days, and from nights to days, and from nights to days. Your body never adjusts to one schedule. After 2 years of doing that, I just told myself I knew that I would have to leave. This is the thing. I know quitting jobs is not great. I did not feel great while quitting those jobs. However, I chose to look at it this way. Like a sign, as though it was just a sign that I'm not doing great here, I'm not comfortable where I am, a sign that I need to align my income potential with a career that fuels my interest. I could be really hard on myself, but to be honest, another 50 years in that water treatment career and I'll still feel unfulfilled and disappointed with my career choices. I was one of those guys that would come to work, ask everyone to help them learn about how to operate a machinery or a work equipment, because I had never driven a forklift before, or a bulldozer or a tractor before. And you will say, hey, but you're supposed to get full-time, full-on training for that. And I'll say, hey, yeah, but sometimes these jobs, you're only given a few days of training and that's it. You just gotta go. I am not a mechanically inclined person. This much I know about myself. I struggled in the mechanic shop every day. Sometimes I even injured myself. Maybe I looked the part, but I would prefer to write and speak and do research and provide face-to-face customer support where I'm impacting people's lives on a daily basis. Being in the shop for 3 hours straight, disassembling a pump, is not just something that I enjoyed. Ultimately, guys, I worked a lot of hours, especially in the last company where I worked overtime, lots of night shift, worked on holidays, and I saved a lot of money eventually to buy a new home and to get married. So I guess I got everything I wanted from this career path. Now, this is the combo that got me to quit last year. There was no room for growth. There was no pay increase. I was the wrong fit for the job profile. I finally got my permanent residence, and then I also got my citizenship test completed. I had got the house I was saving for, and I had got married, and I said, you know what? I can now step away from this career, and this career is not really adding much to my life anymore, anyways. And I'm gonna move to start something that aligns more with my personality and income aspirations. Now, did I have a backup plan? Well, I did not really form a concrete backup plan. This is something I will change. And that's why I said I did not really maximize my time outside of work to build concrete skills for myself. I mean, yes, I had my engineering training certification, and I had my project management skills, and I had my digital marketing certification, but no experience at all in these things. I should have gotten a part-time job on the side, but then what time would I have had to do that, right? My time after work was spent sleeping, and a lot of people talk about the pension from a government job like the one I had. Yes, the pension is great, but what about the 20, 30 years that you will be working in those jobs every day, having to pay a bill on a very tight budget? What about those 20, 30 years of your work life? How do you manage that? How do you survive that to wait for an amazing pension? Now I started working in sales 100% in advertising sales to local businesses. I've also gained some experience now with customer support and technical support. Although the pay is not where I want it to be, it is gonna get better. And I know that I will make so much more now because I'm in a career path that is in software as a service, where I get to work with people and build tangible relationships, which I will consider my strength. I am already getting a lot of good reviews for the way I interact with customers and clients, and I will do well in this career path, that's for sure. Also, the income potential is way higher because an employer cannot cap how much I can make in sales or customer support or service-based jobs. Of course, content creation is an amazing opportunity to grow in my new life as well. I mean, content creation has been amazing for me because I get to learn software skills and editing skills using softwares like InShot, CapCut, Adobe Pro. These are skills that will generate a lot of work for me and a lot of work satisfaction and career satisfaction for myself. Challenges faced. The main challenge I'm facing right now is that I feel like I'm an entry-level applicant. I mean, because I still need to bring some money home, I can't just work and look for a work-life balance and not pay the bills. The challenge is that this is the challenge and it goes on. It's just a different kind of challenge. I consider it like I'm in a self-discovery mode right now. I'm trying to find myself through all these new opportunities I'm creating for myself. I've opened up so many opportunities like insurance sales, apartment sales, advertisement sales, software sales, and so on and so forth. If there was anything that I would say to those of you watching and maybe thinking about quitting their jobs due to whatever reasons you're not feeling satisfied, you have a toxic work situation, you're not making a lot of income there, I think you should go for it, but you should plan out your exit plan thoroughly before you actually go for it. Before you hand in that resignation letter, consider this. Quitting your job might seem like a quick fix, but without a solid plan in place, you could be trading short-term relief for long-term regrets. Quitting your job might seem like a quick fix because it offers immediate relief from stress, dissatisfaction, or challenges you may be facing in your current position. The thought of escaping an unpleasant work environment or pursuing other opportunities can be quite enticing, providing a temporary sense of liberation. However, without a solid plan in place, quitting impulsively can lead to unforeseen consequences and long-term regrets. And here's why. Number one, financial instability. Quitting without another job lined up can jeopardize your financial stability. You may face difficulties in meeting your financial obligations such as rent, bills, and other expenses, leading to stress and anxiety in the long run. Number two, career setback. Abruptly leaving your job without a strategic exit plan can disrupt your career path. Gaps in employment or a hasty departure may raise red flags for future employers, making it harder to secure a desirable job or position down the line. Number three, loss of benefits. Quitting without considering the loss of benefits such as health insurance, retirement contributions, and other perks provided by your current employer could leave you vulnerable, especially if you don't have alternative coverage or plans in place. This is my situation right now. I've had to create another insurance policy for myself within my TD Bank, and that's something I never thought about before quitting. Number 4, limiting options. Rushing into a decision to quit without exploring alternative solutions or avenues for improvement within your current job may limit your options in the long term. It's essential to exhaust all possibilities before resorting to resignation. Number 5, emotional toll. While quitting may offer temporary relief, it doesn't necessarily address the underlying issues causing dissatisfaction or happiness. Without addressing these issues, you risk carrying that emotional baggage into future endeavors, perpetuating a cycle of discontentment. In summary, while quitting your job may provide short-term relief, it's crucial to approach such a significant decision with careful consideration, a well-thought-out plan to avoid potential long-term repercussions and regrets. And there are some amazing coaches out there that could help you with this. On the other hand, are you feeling stuck in a job you dread? It's time to break free and pursue your passions. Here's why quitting your job right now could be the bold move you need to unlock a world of new opportunities and fulfillment. Number 1, lack of fulfillment. If you find yourself waking up dreading that work day ahead of you and feeling unfulfilled by the tasks you're performing, it's a clear sign that your current job isn't aligning with your passions and goals. Pursuing your passions can reignite your sense of purpose and enthusiasm for your work. Number 2, stagnation. Feeling like you hit a plateau in your current job with no room for growth or advancement can be demotivating. Pursuing your passions allow you to chart your own course and consistently challenge yourself to learn and grow in an area that truly interests you. Number 3, mismatch values. If your values and beliefs don't align with those of your current employer or work you're doing, it can lead to a feeling of dissonance and dissatisfaction. Breaking free to pursue your passions allows you to prioritize what truly matters to you and work in environments that reflect your values.